been researched and practiced extensively. It is not just my point of view. It is fact-based. Unlike other authors, I acknowledge in many cases there is not one simple answer when leading groups of humans. I understand true leadership requires thought, adjustment, and constant practice. This book is the culmination of research, the study of a wide variety of leadership thinkers, and most critically, perspective. I have worked with hundreds of organizations and thousands of leaders across all levels, industries, and types of organizations. The perspectives I have learned and the insights from those perspectives are as important, or perhaps even more important, than my research and study of the many facets of leadership development. By picking up this book, you can become a far better leader than you are today. However, it is unlikely you will ever be a perfect leader. In my 25 plus years of experience in working with leaders, I have never met a flawless leader. There are no sugar pills, there are no quick fixes. If this book works, you'll finish reading it and understand what experiences to seek and what content to practice, and you'll be humbled with the daunting complexity and discipline required to become a truly effective leader. The discipline of introspection and intro-action, you. Throughout the years of working with leaders at all levels, I have found two primary root causes for ineffective leadership. The first is insecurity and/or too much ego, and the second is ignorance or the lack of intention to lead. Let's take on the first driver of ineffective leadership. The opposite of insecurity and ego appears to be a leader who is constantly endeavoring for greater self-awareness, the ability to be self-critical, and the non-stop drive towards self-development. It's obvious to think about cases where you've been impacted by leaders who lack self-awareness, are self-protective, and/or who think they have all the answers. The second most prevalent driver of highly ineffective leadership is ignorance. These leaders hold on to old beliefs about themselves. These leaders believe their subject matter expertise or technical ability is primary, and dealing with humans is a side project. These individuals have not defined who they are as a leader, nor have they explored how they impact those around them. They haven't made the leap from a highly capable contributor to a leader. In this chapter, we will explore both the content and process of developing the discipline of self-awareness, self-critique, and self-development, as well as the very difficult work required to develop greater emotional intelligence. We will also explore the process and content for defining oneself as a leader. EQ. The hard part is the soft stuff. It's so funny for me to hear an ineffective leader talk about the soft stuff as separate from leadership activities and behaviors. For many, the soft stuff is, in fact, the hardest stuff to develop to become an effective leader. Typically, when ineffective leaders speak of the soft stuff, they are speaking of the constructs that make up emotional intelligence. As it turns out, to be emotionally intelligent is the cornerstone of developing skills required to influence other people as a leader. Emotional intelligence is among the 2 or 3 great advances in our thinking around developing leaders in the last 40 years, yet so few people truly understand the concepts. If we consider the concepts of EQ to be the content to strive for and/or the answer key, then why do so few leaders seek to learn and develop the skills associated with emotional intelligence? In fact, the concepts are simple. The theory that I've formed is that emotional intelligence is not difficult to understand or even develop. What gets in the way of leaders is arrogance. Arrogance and denial lead to dismissing the important facts you need to face about yourself to be more emotionally intelligent. You see, the first step in leadership development is to overcome your insecurities and ego. This requirement demands processes that enable you to develop self-awareness, self-critique, and self-development. The content is not as difficult as the process. Let's define content and process. Content is the what. Process is the how. Content is the stuff we talk about and write about in most leadership books. It's the 5-point model, so to speak, or the 3 key values all leaders must have, or a form